Oh, hello! Welcome back to my Chanel. Today I'm going to be talking all about my experience going to the Spirit Halloween flagship store grand opening. I love Spirit Halloween. I've worked there in the past, I go there every year for my daily dose of spooky serotonin. So this year was my first time going, and there are a lot of things that I wish I knew beforehand, and some things that I wasn't expecting. If this is your first time hearing about it and you want to go next year, I'm going to tell you all about what to expect. So the flagship location is in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. And fun fact, the reason why it's called Egg Harbor is because the explorer who first discovered it saw all of these waterfowl and bird eggs just covering the meadows when he first landed. So he called it Egg Harbor. So how this event works is you show up at 7 a.m. and then they give you numbered lanyards depending on when you arrive, and that will let you into the store as they call the numbers. And they were giving out exclusive goodie bags to the first 200 people in line. Now when it comes to the line, people take this very seriously. There were people camping out, I want to say at least 2 days before it even opened. Spirit did try to discourage this. They were saying that you could not arrive before 7 a.m., but there were so many people there anyway. Now I didn't get up this early, but I'm told that the line started at 4 a.m. Now my original plan was to make it a day trip, drive down, go to the event, and then drive back home that same day, and I'm really glad I didn't do that. I ended up getting an Airbnb the night before, which was about a 15-minute drive from the store itself, and then I just drove back home the same day as the event. So the day of, I got up at 5, I did my hair and makeup because I wanted to make some content while at the store, and then I went to get online. I got there around 7:30, and I wasn't there, but I heard that there was pretty much a stampede at 7 when people started to get online. But I did talk to some people afterwards who were there, and they said that it was a bit of a shit show, like kids almost got trampled, there was no order, so I'm really glad that I missed that part, because when I got on the line at 7:30, everything seemed to be working very well. It was all smooth, we were single file. There was also a helicopter circling overhead, there was a news reporter doing interviews. It was a whole big thing. Needless to say, I was not one of the first 200 people, but I heard that they got a Spirit Halloween branded Stanley Cup in the swag bag. One thing I was not expecting for this event was the heat. Even though it was early in the morning, it was already getting really hot. So I brought my parasol for sun protection. I was wearing like a sun SPF hoodie. I also brought a little mini electric fan, which I used a lot throughout the day. So then I got my number, which was 1,269. There was also a whole carnival setup in the parking lot outside of Spirit. It was the Carnival, which is the theme for this year. It was super cute. There was a skeleton out front selling tickets. There was a miniature big top tent with hay bales you could go sit on inside, including a little clown dressed up. There was a Butterfinger tent where you could win Butterfingers, handheld electric fans, hats. One thing I really appreciated is that they had a bathroom trailer that was air conditioned in the parking lot for us to use. Oh, that was so nice. So once you get your numbered lanyard, then you're free to explore the carnival and do whatever you want. The store itself didn't open until 10. You have to wait until they call you, and then you can go into the store. You cannot go into the store before that. I actually met up with a really good friend of mine there who I wasn't expecting to see, so we ended up going to get breakfast together and just hanging out. So that was really nice. After we got breakfast, we came back to the parking lot, and the parking lot is free. You can park wherever you want, and there are some overflow parking lots as well, so parking was never an issue. The carnival itself officially opened at 9, but you could still walk around and see everything that was going on. There was a big white tent with tables and chairs for people to sit in and escape the sun, because at this point, it was insane how hot it was. It was disgusting. Like, I had attempted to curl my hair to look nice, it instantly fell flat. There were carnival games like a Beetlejuice-themed basketball, there was a pirate cart with drinks, they also had collectible mugs, they had a pumpkin mug, a ghost mug, all kinds of cute options that you could buy, and the pirate cart only sold sodas, I believe. The only thing I was surprised by with the carnival space is that there was no place to get water, at least that I could find. Apparently there was a hydration station somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I loved the carnival part of the event. I thought it was a really fun idea, and there were so many people dressed up in costumes. Oh my god, there was one little kid dressed up as Art the Clown from Terrifier. He looked so good. But there were a lot of different costumes, cosplays. A lot of people flew in from all over the world too. Like, someone apparently flew in from Prague, which is crazy. And I think the first person in line this year was from LA. Now, unfortunately, I didn't really enjoy the event as much as I thought I would. only because of the heat. The heat just sucked all of the fun out of it for me. It was insanely hot, and everything was outside because you couldn't go in the store until 10. And even with the big white tent they had for shade for people to sit down underneath it, it was still so hot. If I remember correctly, I think my car thermometer said something between like 95 and 105. So thank God that this spirit was located in a strip mall because we just went in all of the stores that had air conditioning. So while we were waiting, we just kind of alternated between sitting in the car with air conditioning and going into the stores because it was just too hot to be outside. So at 9:55 they had the ribbon cutting ceremony, and then at 10 they started calling the numbers and letting everyone go inside. And to give you an idea of how fast that line went, around 11:45 they were calling number 550, and at 1 p.m. they were calling number 900. So you can imagine we had a long time to wait. At one point there were about 3 or 4 animatronics set up outside. I wasn't sure if that was Spirit doing that or just people showing off the animatronics that they had gotten, but all the kids were crowded around them taking pictures with them, and it was really cool to see the Art the Clown one. That was my favorite animatronic this year. It looked so real. I actually thought it was a performer or someone in a costume at first. There was also a stilt walker walking around as well, which was really cool to see. So because we had a lot of time to kill waiting for our number to be called, we went out to lunch. Now I started off the day with my makeup done, my wig on, and as the day progressed because of the heat, the wig came off. I cared a lot less about my makeup. I was just too damn hot. And thank God for these air-conditioned stores, especially this one that had sofas and couches. We just chilled in there because it was disgusting outside. And then we went back to wait in line again. Finally, around 2 p.m., our number was called. Inside the store itself was insane. I have never seen a more packed Spirit. And they did have a police presence inside the store as well to prevent shoplifting and fights. I think my favorite thing that I got to see that day were all of the new animatronics. I love Bobby Strings. He is kind of terrifying. I didn't realize how big he was. I love Victor and Emily. They looked amazing in terms of their faces. Emily's hair could use some love, but the rest of them looked so good. And they actually used Johnny Depp's voice, Helena Bonham Carter's voice, and their exact lines from the movies, which was awesome. I really loved the eyes on Nibbles the Clown. They looked very realistic. And apparently he is a tracking animatronic where if you move around in front of him, he will turn and like follow you with his head. Cotton Candy Dan is another favorite of mine with his cotton candy head. Wanda Webworth was another one that was very creepy. I love her design. That was another one I didn't realize just how tall she was. Speaking of tall, getting to see the giant Death Ray in person was so cool. That, I think, is one of the tallest animatronics I have ever seen. I also really love the lights in his torso. The crematory was another one of my favorites. I loved how it lights up from the inside. They also had grand opening merch like t-shirts and bags that you could buy, and they said 2024 grand opening Carnival for Spirit Halloween. The home decor was also awesome. There was a cute little baby with yellow eyes eating barbed wire. I wanted her so badly. So I'm sure you're wondering what I bought at the grand opening of the flagship store, and the answer is nothing. The line to check out wrapped around the entire store, and apparently I learned from a store employee it was about an hour-long wait. So I didn't want to wait for an hour. I figured if there was something I really wanted to get, I could buy it online or at a more local Spirit later in the season. So I just took my time walking around, seeing all the new costumes, all the new home decor pieces. There was a lot of really cool Beetlejuice stuff. There was a little bit of Deadpool stuff left. I was surprised by how much they had left on the shelves by the time I got into the store, because I just figured the first 1,000 people would have cleared them out. So, things that I wish I had done differently. I wish I had gotten up earlier, not done my hair and makeup first, just gotten on that line to get an earlier number to go into the store earlier, and then after getting my lanyard, just go back to my Airbnb. I also wish I had gotten an Airbnb for 2 nights instead of 1, because having a place to go back to that was air conditioned would have been a game changer for that day. Sadly, I only got my Airbnb for the 1 night. Wear comfy shoes. I saw so many people wearing demonias and full boots in 95 degrees. How? How are your feet not dead? I was wearing open-toed shoes and I was still dying. In terms of the Airbnb or hotel situation, I wish I had gotten a closer one, like within walking distance. That also would have made it a lot easier. I would also book it further in advance, like as soon as Spirit announces it on their website, like book a hotel or an Airbnb. Because I booked mine the same day that I traveled. I will say, if you have social anxiety, this may not be the event for you. I think there were about 3,000 people that were there, so it's a lot. It was very overstimulating. There's just a lot of people, there was a DJ playing music, and then if you're waiting in line for the lanyard, you're all smushed together with all these other people. I am glad that I went to the event and I got to experience it. I just wish it had been less hot so I could have enjoyed it more. But if you want early access to animatronics or just to see what they have in store in person, then I would absolutely recommend this event, and just get there early so you can get into the store earlier. Don't do what I did. I would also recommend bringing a lot of water and snacks too. There are a lot of places to eat nearby, like there were a couple of diners which we went to, and the food is really good. But if you don't feel like spending money, just bring like a cooler with you and have snacks, sandwiches. And that's it for my experience at the Spirit Halloween grand opening. Please comment down below and let me know if you guys have ever gone to this, if you're planning on going now that you do know about it. But I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!